All right, so we are doing our first employee profile video, and we're sitting down with Hagan Bjerga, our awesome mechanical engineer, jack of all trades kind of guy around here, and we're just going to talk and find out about him. So, Hagan, you've been here for a year and a half, roughly?
Yeah, coming up on 2 years in July.
Already, wow, man,
yeah.
Time flies. I actually had my third kid when Hagan first came here, so, you know, it was a very weird transition state for me, and
he abandoned me.
Yeah.
Fine.
Half my brain was gone. I just sliced my finger up, and then you came in and helped us out. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your educational background, stuff that we can probably read on our profiles, but let's hear it from you.
Okay. So I went to several different schools, like for primary education, that kind of stuff. But in 2018, I graduated from Colorado School of Mines, mechanical engineering. It's a BS degree. And yeah, I did most of my studying was with like material analysis in the sense of like internal stresses of materials based on their properties. That's kind of what I ended up kind of looking at. But my real like interest is more in like manufacturing and like actually doing cool things, not just sitting at a desk as much as possible. Actually
making things.
Yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And then, yeah, I mean that's I don't know, I pretty much classic mechanical engineer. I love fixing things, so I love taking it apart, fixing it, putting it back together, and it's so much better than a desk job.
Yeah. So what made you actually want to do that as a living, you know, at some point you had to make that decision, so what sparked that initial interest? I know you're a motorhead as well.
Yeah, so like I was talking for a while about just going to trade school to be a mechanic, and ultimately it came down to my dad was like, you're way too smart to just be a mechanic. You need to do something better with your life.
I agree with that.
And so that was part of it. I was actually kind of weird. I was reading a book at my grandpa's house. It was like super random. It just had like a bunch of buildings and stuff on the front of it, and it said mechanical engineering. I'm like, I think I'm gonna do that for the rest of my life. And
nice.
I was like flipping through the book, and that was it. And then that became my like, so what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, be a mechanical engineer. And
nice.
It's just kind of like, I actually just did it. So,
nice.
Like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nothing too crazy. It was
cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, Hagan's dad, Harold Bjerga, is a pastor at Northwood?
Yeah, Northwood campus.
In Grace Point, part of Grace Community Church here in Fremont. So that was kind of a cool connection. That's how you came to us. Hagan's dad was like, hey, you need an engineer? And I was like, yes. And then he showed up. Last time I seen him, he was like 10 years old. No, less, I think.
Yeah, I think probably less than
probably
10.
Like 6 or 7 or whatever. And he'd grown like 8 feet since then. But anyway, but that was a good find. So what do you do here? Hold on, let me try that again. I'll edit this part out. What would you say you do here?
Well, pretty much my actual like official to do is getting prints to the guys in the shop. So like we get an order in, I make up the drawing plans for it and take our standard machines, customize it for the whatever project we're working on, and then get the guys their prints so that they can build whatever it is that we need to build. But in the last probably year, I've taken it upon myself to bring the company into the 21st century in a lot of ways.
I jokingly say Hagan is our functional millennial because he's helping us. Yeah, the 20th century is what I was aiming for, just because we were that behind in some areas, and now you're bridging into the 21st. So
yeah, it's so like when it comes to like pricing, so finding a way of like streamlining that process just to make it easier for people. Like, let's say we have a new employee show up who does like pricing. Well, they need to know how we do it, where it needs to be a smooth transition. So that's a current project, and then I'm kind of in charge of like the R&D kind of stuff, where like there's a lot of materials that are hard to work with, and so coming up with kind of solutions to those materials and how we can actually deposit them, and so that's been kind of a newer thing once I get time for it more than anything.
Right.
And then also kind of like an errand boy for
pretty much
Kevin and Jim.
Yes, you are the go-between for a lot of stuff
Uh-huh.
between the shop floor, myself, the office, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hagan's kind of like extended his tendrils into everything, and it's been
Pretty
pretty productive, pretty productive. So this is not just to talk about how awesome you are, but what do you do in your spare time when you're not helping me run this place?
So I'm also, on top of having a job here, I'm also the intern up at Grace Point. I'm currently doing the youth ministry up there.
Okay.
So that's been pretty cool actually. I've been doing that for almost a year.
Okay.
And then still work on motors, working on my truck, kind of maintaining my entire family's fleet of vehicles. I am like really into, like, I love reading all sorts of different stuff. I don't do as much as I'd like to.
Audiobooks, man.
I've considered it, but there's just something satisfying about actually reading a book.
I do understand that too. I mean, you can see my list of book or my shelf of books there, but I don't have time to sit. Anyway, continue.
So, and then besides that, I like Community. Like
the show?
No, like actual, like, being with people.
Gotcha.
There's, being a part of the church family up at Grace Point here in Fremont, and then having like a large group of friends going to the new campus in Tiffin. There's, life is difficult. You talk to people, and it's really hard what people have to deal with, and so basically just like going through just life with people has been something that's very challenging, and
Gotcha.
I mean, honestly, really rewarding too.
Cool.
In the past couple of years, and so really trying to make time for that.
Cool.
And I just recently got Settlers of Catan. Like, I've been playing that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All the time.
We'll have to play sometime. I've never played it, and I've heard it's awesome. So
it's incredible. But yeah, that's
punishing the intricate, right, or something like that.
Pretty much.
Cool. I enjoy that. Civilization was the one that I did. That's pretty intricate like that.
Yeah.
It's a one-player thing. So. Oh, cool. So. What's your favorite thing about working here?
Ooh.
You can pick like two.
Okay. I think probably the best thing is the work environment.
Okay.
Like, I remember, like, during my interview, the way you put it was, it's like, I think you said it was like low. Is it low tolerance and low stress, or high?
Low
tolerance?
stress, high tolerance. Yeah, I remember.
So
saying
basically, just like highly precise, but like at the same time, like it's not a big deal. Like it's like just super casual.
Yeah.
It's really nice knowing that, like, when you come to work, you're not gonna. The worst that's gonna happen is that Kevin might be in a bad mood about something.
Yes.
And then that's pretty much it. Like we very rarely have issues with customers. Like, we have a couple, but not like.
Right.
Nothing compared to like retail. And,
no. Yeah.
It's just it's a really fun place to work. I mean,
it's been one of my goals to try and do that.
Yeah.
Because I worked in not fun places. So.
Same.
Yeah. So. Cool. Plus, it's just not worth it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To create a problem for you guys, because I want you to stay. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm removing all incentive to leave if I can.
Yeah.
Within reason. So, all right. Without naming names, what's your least favorite thing about working here?
This one's easy actually.
Okay.
There is any company that has engineers has had this argument at some point in life.
Right.
Just because it's been done this way doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Not necessarily that it's a bad thing, but that ultimately, like, new things can be scary, I understand, but they are, like, pivotal to to growing, especially like a small company. Like,
right.
You got to be able to change with whatever industry we might be in. So, like, in 10, 20 years, who knows, we might not even be primarily doing food depositors. Right. Potentially. I mean, we don't know. But I mean, like, that's just
that's been the thought, right? Is because this is what's kept us alive, is the food depositing, but then the food world is vast, and our capabilities, especially with 3D printing becoming what it is, or any of those technologies, it's just, you never know. Yeah. I don't think it'll ever go away, but, it might become half of what we do. Yeah. Depending on what we can actually develop from our ideas and things like that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's probably the worst part. Just everything
inertia.
I do has to be very slow, because if I don't, there's certain people who will get very frustrated with me,
right.
and who they do get frustrated with me, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, this is what I consider, like, by letting you do all that stuff, I can be the go-between, and it's like, I think I'm 90% on board with most of the stuff you want to do. So any of the old guard who's still a little wary, I can back you up from the shadows or something. Or if it's something that I think we need to put the brakes on, you know, I think I can do that a little bit more delicately than some of the old guard. But you know, it's all good. So this is kind of just for general knowledge. This is kind of what I enjoy with working with Hagan, is that my attempts to modernize and go into new things. He and I work together really well with. You know, he's the functional millennial, so you have all the newer ideas. If I'm a millennial, I'm the oldest of the generation, so yeah, just approving as much as I can reasonably of the new things without breaking our bank is the biggest thing.
You can be coerced.
Yeah.
We figured out a way of getting our way in the shop.
Exactly, I'm sure. But you always have to. I had to do it with our last boss whenever I thought he was going off the rails, but I thought I had a good idea. You always, and that's okay. I don't mind it, because I think like a parent, I think you figure out more than you think your parents do. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, but either way, it's all good. So, all right, man. Well, what are you working on today?
So
can you say?
Yeah, no, I
was just thinking about that. Can we reveal that to our evil competitors? So.
No, we've got a pretty busy schedule right now. We've got 4 machine orders. So I'm getting the 3D concepts done. That way, when they're ready for prints, I can just get them knocked out really quick. And then a lot of the prints that I've made when I first started working here were done on AutoCAD, which I have zero understanding of AutoCAD. So basically, they're all wrong.
Gotcha.
And so I'm actually updating those to be correct.
Cool.
And kind of streamlining them so that, you know, if and when, you know, I'm not here in the future, the person who comes up to it can basically just click options and the model takes care of itself.
Yep.
Which has been, it's heavily consuming at the beginning of it, but it's worthwhile in the end. So.
Very good. So thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah, sure.
And
for sure.